Cup champion Darren McCarty and the golden voice of Neal Ruhl. Sit back and relax. It's time for your daily dose of Big D energy.
Yo, welcome back, everybody, to Big D Energy.
Big D!
Right here on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Neal Ruhl. That guy over there, D-Mac, Darren McCarty here in the house. We have Sam Flannel. We have Spencer Raxter as well. All of you, the WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Boy, the pre-show chat just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. People fired up.
Seen a lot of golf clubs, both teams, hockey teams on their last legs. Your Edmonton Oilers.
We're fine.
Okay.
If it ain't rough, it ain't right.
Yeah,
I believe it was Chauncey Billups that coined that phrase.
Time yet, but the Toronto fans, look out. I think some of these series are really, really interesting. But I just like the fact that they're talking about golf clubs.
Yes.
It's beautiful out there. I'll be out there this afternoon.
Of course you will. That is on brand. All of you in the WoodwardSports.com chat thread, jump into that. FJ 1967. Good morning, Big D crew. Neal, Darren, Spenmo, Sam, Tammy, et al. Appreciate everybody tapping in to that. And, follow the Woodward Sports YouTube channel. Subscribe to that. Our podcast as well. Big D Energy, iTunes, Spotify, Spreaker, wherever you get it. Rewind, fast forward, do all that stuff on your terms. There's a couple of things that certainly I want to get to as promised. Coming up in about 25 minutes. We'll revisit the Red Wings financial situation as we get ready to roll into the draft. We know where they'll be picking. We'll take a look at the free agency pool. It's kind of thin. I'm just warning you guys to that. Certainly for the Lions contingent, we will get to some of that stuff as well. Big game for the Tigers today. Gotta have it. The ace is on the mound. The untouchable Eduardo Rodriguez. Do not trade him under any circumstances. You're an idiot if you think that they should trade him. That's what I was told. So
wait, what?
They pulled a clip of me talking about how, as a franchise, you need to trade Eduardo Rodriguez because he's leaving at the end of this deal.
Right.
At the end of this year, he's got a player option to opt out.
Yes.
He's leaving.
Yes.
And I suggested you have to trade him. The longer you keep him, the less valuable he becomes, kind of like when Michael Fulmer won the Rookie of the Year. And I got filleted on social media for it. Filleted. Even though no one gave me, like, a baseball reason. It was just, he's great.
No, it's
he's
the
pitching
same.
well.
It's the same reason as you wish, you had the out with Javi Baez. You wish you had the.
I wish I had the out reversed.
It was opposite way, but he's going to bet on himself. It's sort of like, the Max Scherzer continues to pitch this way. So I think it comes down to, Neal, this is the difference. If we're starting that, we've seen Scott Harris, who's now at the helm, make some legitimate baseball moves. I'm not worried because I think that he will jump on something that I think is of value to make this team better moving forward.
And I agree with that.
Believe, and how can you, obviously, how can you not be right? If it goes longer, maybe it's a trade deadline deal or whatever, but if nothing gets done, no skin off Eduardo's back because he's going out to get paid anyways.
Yeah, it doesn't matter to him. But, we'll touch on that a little bit. Big Tigers game this afternoon. Pennant Chase. We got Pennant Chase fever, Spenmo. Are we locked in?
Oh, yeah.
Yo, get into it. Why not?
Yeah, I'm locked in.
Because you never know how long this is going to last. Remember when we officially jumped in with the Red Wings? We got about 6 days out of that. Then it was over. OVA.
We've had it like 2 weeks already. So
it was a really intense 6 days, though.
It was.
Just something to show you, for what's coming in the future.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread. People talking about it. Jan says, beautiful outside, perfect weather. Finally. See, why can't it just be like this? Like in April, though. You know what I'm saying? Why do I have to suffer? Just give me this.
But does your short-term memory
yes, it does.
Go
yes.
away?
No, it doesn't.
Oh, you sit back and you remember? Because when you get nice days like this, it makes those crappy days not seem so crappy.
No, they were still crappy.
Okay. You're a grudge holder.
I am. No, that's not the way to put it, D-Mac.
Not a grudge. You have a long memory.
There you go. Right. There you go.
Accountability. You hold everything accountable.
No, it's not even that.
You hold the weather accountable. That's all.
It's not even that, D-Mac. One of my buddies in college told me when we used to do, when we were working on college radio back in the day, he said, nobody keeps score like you do. I keep score,
There
D-Mac.
it is. Okay.
I do. I keep
Got
score.
receipts.
Yes, that. Yes.
Keep
you do.
yeah. For the new crowd, I keep receipts.
There it is.
See, it's the same concept.
Oh, yeah.
It's just
And
updated.
the weather can't escape your wrath.
No, I absolutely cannot. Woodwardsports.com chat thread. Rax has just got back from Mexico. You guys are welcome for the weather. And Rax, I did my part before. I got back from Florida. Boom! It was 80 degrees for like 5 days. Now Rax just got back. We did our part. We certainly no one could deny that. King Tay says, never underestimate a 40-degree day in the middle of May. It is possible. It's like
It's gonna be May.
Yeah, it is. It's not even that. It certainly is going to happen.
Yeah, see, Steve-O Baby's got it. You know why it's beautiful, Neil? Because it's sunny and All Elite Wrestling tonight. LCA, baby.
You'll be down there, right?
I'll be down there. Braylon's going too.
Is he really?
Yeah.
All right, that's
We
pretty
got a
big
whole
time.
contingent going down there, so look for me.
I will not be down there because usually I like to.
You can watch TV. You look for me on TV.
Well, what I like to usually do. You guys know how this works. Like when we all go down there, you guys are like sitting ringside. I don't do that.
No.
I sit up in the lodge level or in the suites or whatever, and I just lord over.
Lording.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but have a good time down there
We will.
tonight, D-Mac. That certainly will be fun for all of you guys.
Kenny Omega, John Moxley cage match. Look out.
I know, and look, people were talking about it on social media. We got a ton of tweets yesterday about old Grandpa Joe, the topic that will not die. Spenmo, I was advised, there is a Grandpa Joe Sucks t-shirt in transit right now to the studios in a 2X
Hell yeah.
for Spencer
Well,
Raxter.
I love it.
if we're on Grandpa Joe, speaking of rake, did he not do on his flight back, do a deep dive?
He did.
Into seeing, just to reiterate, and I guess just to the argument of how bad a dude Grandpa Joe was for all of us who had short memories. Right?
He did.
So if you haven't seen, check out Neal's tweeter.
Yeah, absolutely. So, that was good. Mike G, can you guys rotate who wears a black turtleneck? That's a great. I didn't have a black turtleneck on.
It wasn't a turtleneck. It
Yeah.
was just a sweater.
Yeah, it was a regular sweater with
Yeah.
a regular, collared shirt underneath it.
Best time to wear
Yeah,
a
so
striped sweater.
that's what it was.
So all the time.
Last night, real quick, NBA. How'd Jokic do last night?
He looked pretty good.
Oh, he had a triple-double.
Yes, he did.
And they won.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's all I'm saying. Boy, Denver needs to cash this one
Yeah,
in,
they
man.
do. This is their year for sure.
I do like this. And I know we've had this discussion before, but I do kind of like to go back to it from time to time. Jokic is my favorite non-Piston player in the NBA. Has been for a couple of years. I started the Jokic movement. I am responsible for his back-to-back MVPs. Not his play on the floor, because he's always been doing that. The media attention that I brought to him enabled him to win back-to-back MVPs. So Jokic has always been the guy, the Denver Nuggets have kind of been my team B. And you guys know where I am too, like in hockey. I love McJesus, obviously. And the Florida Panthers. I've always had kind of a soft spot for them. Went to the All-Star game back in 2003 when I was down there in South Florida. And obviously tonight is a coronation, D-Mac. Everybody start the party. I want to know what your plans are for tonight, much like New Year's Eve. What are y'all doing for Toronto getting booted out of the playoffs? Because it's coming tonight.
And you know what? Even that is an extra. Well, I mean, is it made for the storybook because their number one goalie, Samsonov, is out, so they got to play the rookie Wall, Toronto too. So tough task in Florida. Florida needs to close it out here. And wow, you can't count them out. I mean, they're turning into being one of the front runners. I think that they won't be denied. And it starts in goal with them, with Sergei Bobrovsky.
He is not Sergei Bobrovsky now. He is transformed into Bob.
Robo-Bob.
Bob. He becomes
He's
Bob,
the Bob.
in the
He can
play.
build
He's
him
a straight
stronger.
Bob. Just like, hey, so multi-talented and versatile, just like the Bob back in the days in Grand Rapids.
Can you fly,
You ever
Johnny?
been to the Bob in Grand Rapids, Spenny?
Oh, yeah.
No. Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
That's a rite of
All
passage.
different
Oh,
experience.
yeah.
Dre I 10. Appreciate you tapping in. Haven't noticed you on here before. Says, love the video of Toronto fans chanting, "We want Florida, we want Florida." I loved it too. And you know what? In retrospect, I was wrong about Toronto fans because I kind of was critical of them for taking to the streets in mass, having a parade that they won a playoff series. I poo-pooed that. And you know what? That was their Stanley Cup. Winning around.
That'll be the Lions if they win a playoff game, though. You know the city's going to go crazy.
Right. Absolutely.
When they win a playoff game.
This year?
This year.
There you go. That's on me.
Stop not scared. Stop not scared. Stop not scared.
Absolutely. That's
not
on
scared.
me for being critical of Toronto fan base. They knew a little bit more than me. They did. They're closer to it than I am.
Well, the getting's good.
Yep, absolutely. So they had their little fun. And Mike G says Bob is going to send Toronto golfing, and I can't wait. I love it. It's one of my favorite yearly traditions in sports when Toronto season ends. It's great, D-Mac. I have it with great anticipation.
Right? That's in my top, probably my top 3 too. Watching them slide out. What are the other ones you like watching? Is it the Lakers, or is it, like, I know for Sam he's like frothing at the bit for Golden State to
This is going to hurt. This is going to hurt Spenny, but I enjoy the New York Knicks and their when they make it, their yearly exit too. I do. I'm just tired of the Madison Square Garden and the Mecca. While I do hope to call a game there one day, I respect the history of the building.
I want to go there so bad.
Yeah, I respect the history of the building and what it is. However, the Knicks, I don't understand why they get this love. It's a franchise. They're nothing more than the Sacramento Kings.
Hey.
That's all they are.
That's not true.
It's not?
No. They've won playoff series, plural, in the past 10 years.
Oh.
So they're not the Sacramento Kings.
What year?
2015 or 2014? I'm not sure. Melo won a series, and they won a series this year.
Right around the time the city of Detroit last
they
won a
beat
playoff
Cleveland
series.
this year. Cleveland was a good team.
Okay.
Julius Randle's just fucking choking, man. That shit is bad.
Really? Huh.
He is a horrific playoff player.
Yeah.
Like, what is he averaging? Like 15 a game on horrific efficiency after his previous playoff run, shooting about 34%, averaging less than 19. Terrible.
It's really bad.
It's
really
worse
bad.
than you think.
Yeah.
Garrett,
it's tough to watch.
Can you guys both agree, though, that at Ohio State, like, you both like to see Ohio State as Michigan and Michigan State fans?
But they cashed one in, though. Like, you can't, and they beat Bama to do it.
No, to, like, see them lose.
Yeah, but to see them lose. But is that one of the ones?
But
like
you can't
Toronto?
Ohio but it's not a tradition. Sure. You know what I'm saying? It's not like a tried and true tradition.
But you sort of wait for them to lose, even no matter what you've done, as long as they don't do.
I like seeing the Yankees lose. That makes me happy.
A lot of Garrett Blint says when Green Bay chokes in the playoffs, that has become a tradition.
Green Bay is a good one. Certainly
at home too. No, Jack Harrington says when the Rangers choke in the playoffs. The Rangers have a lot of Maple Leaf vibes to them. They do.
Yeah, I guess.
The problem is, though, like they got one in the 90s.
And it's like
in standard definition television
how do you hate
days.
the Rangers? What do the Rangers do? This is cool to hate New York, I guess. I can understand why people hate the Yankees. Like, they're the evil empire.
Yeah, I guess so. Jeb Large says Sam Flannel's bricked up for the Yankees. Or for the Lakers? Is that true?
Oh.
Well, tonight, if they close this one out, if the Lakers close this one out at Golden State in Game 5, I will be insufferable tomorrow. That's just facts.
Do you think they're going to?
No. Absolutely not. I think that the only way that the Lakers are even going to think about trying to win this game is if they come out just blazing. If LeBron James has a run shooting threes, which he hasn't had yet this entire postseason, and they go from there. But I think even if they get off to a slow start, they'll just pack it in. They shouldn't, but they will.
Daniel Bridger says, I love seeing the Blue Jays lose because they're the only team that gets any attention in Canada. I'm tired of seeing them.
They're the only team in Canada.
You know what's funny, though? Like, the Blue Jays, I've never had that hate for, and I don't know why. Maybe because their logo's cool?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
And they were fun to watch. You know,
Skydome's cool.
They were Dinger City for a while.
Yeah.
So, I'm cool with the Blue
D-Mac,
Jays.
you don't hate the Blue Jays, do you?
I used to hate them more. Now we're not competitive with them, but that again, it goes to the Toronto bias of my cousin being a Blue Jays Maple Leafs fan growing up. But they had good teams growing up that we used to battle with, so I don't have that much hate. I mean, I remember when Toronto Blue Jays won the World Series, we were down in Adirondack in the minors doing shots on the bar at Dango's. So
hell yeah,
singing "Oh Canada," so I couldn't have been that upset.
No, I get it. Hey, Let me tell you about Strawberry Fest at Big Boy. That's right, it is back. Get there while you can this summer. You could try the classic breakfast items like the mouth-watering red velvet waffle or the strawberry hotcakes. Not a breakfast person? That's cool. I'm not either. And I have messed with the strawberry bacon chicken wrap before. Very, very good. If you're a salad person, the Summer Splash salad as well. And don't forget about dessert. That's the whole point of Strawberry Fest. It all starts with the OG of the Strawberry Fest. That's right, the classic strawberry pie. You know, if you're a little more dessert progressive like Darren McCarty is, deep-fried vanilla Oreos, he'll get that in addition to the strawberry pie. And he won't stop there because he'll chase it all with the strawberry hot fudge cake. All of it is available. Strawberry Fest. Get to your local Big Boy today.
Can't get enough Woodward Sports content? Head over to woodwardsports.com right now for up-to-date sports articles and great entertainment news. We have the best writers, bloggers, and coverage all at your fingertips. Head to woodwardsports.com right now to experience all Woodward Sports has to offer.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience and automatically enter for your chance to win not one, but 2 vehicles of your choice, courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. That's right, 2 cars, one for you, one for your wife, your girlfriend, or your best bud. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime, sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Let one of our talented, award-winning stylists make you look handsome and clean. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m.
Off and running here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Ruhl, Darren McCarty, Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter. Make sure you subscribe to the Big D Energy Podcast, iTunes, Spotify, Spreaker, wherever you get your podcast at. We would appreciate it. And tap into the woodwardsports.com chat thread. Get your thoughts out there as well. I did want to touch on this just real quick. Keenan Allen had a social media post where he posed with Amon-Ra St. Brown and Marvin Jones. They were at the Lakers game, right? Sam, not pictured Sam Flannel. He was just to the left.
He took the picture.
Yeah, he was just to the left of the Lions receivers there. But he was out there as well. NFL Rumors tweeted out, they said several Detroit Lions players have begun recruiting Los Angeles Chargers' Keenan Allen. Speculation the team might be looking to move the Pro Bowler next offseason due to a contract issue, an extension that might be needed. The team drafted a wide receiver in the first round, so that is interesting to note as well. Do we do this too much, D-Mac? Because I feel as though, like, people run to that, right? And they get fired up, and social media gets set on fire because Keenan Allen's at a Lakers game with a couple of Lions dudes in their offseason, just doing the stuff. You know, if it were me and I were a professional athlete, and in the offseason, I would pop up and say, hey, I want to go to the Lakers-Warriors tonight. I'll fly out there. I'll go to the game. I'll hang out. And I asked you the question during the break, D-Mac. I said, when you were playing, you hung out with dudes from other teams, but there was no social media like this. What picture would you have gotten that would have set everything on fire?
There's pictures at events and tournaments and stuff when you're doing stuff, and we did stuff like that, and you're not ashamed to do that. What it does in today's day and age is opens up speculation to any conversation, to what it was, to the fact.
Why do we love that so much? Is it like our voyeuristic society that we are now?
What it is. Everybody wants to know everybody else's business, and you know, what does this mean? What does this mean? This means Keenan Allen had the hookup, right?
Yeah.
And then they're boys, and you know, maybe all the rest of it's true, but you look, I think society, we try to put the pieces together and say, oh, this means this means this. Did it not just say next year? Like, gosh, get through another year, plus injuries and stuff like that. Would I like Keenan Allen on my team? Would he be an asset? Absolutely, if he's healthy. But, I mean, like, come on. That's just garbage speculation because of a pitcher. The fact what I like, right? So what I speculate on that is why are they out there? Because they're probably working out together as receivers. And I like the fact that 2 of my receivers, and Marvin Jones and Amon-Ra St. Brown, are working out together, getting in, you know, continuity and stuff like this back. So that's what I look at it. You don't read too much into it.
WoodwardSports.com chat where people want to know, Flannel, was it you that took the picture?
mean, I wish I could have been there, but unfortunately I was not. It would have taken a lot for me to fly from LA and then do the show the next day. I don't have that kind of hookup. I was not there, but hey, if anybody wants to maybe charter me a flight or something to get out there, I will be happy to do so. But hopefully it won't get to a Game 6. They'll close it out tonight.
My question to you, Neal, with the salary cap and everything like that, would Keenan Allen fit? Would he work?
Yeah, I mean, well, if you're talking about next season, everything's on the table for the Lions next season. They can do whatever they want.
So maybe that's just the outside nugget to put in the back of your brain, and maybe that's what it is. Maybe if you got the truth serum out, maybe that's exactly what they're talking about next year.
Let's Go Red Wings Sparty says, hey, if Amon-Ra's working out with Keenan Allen, I like that. And there is, there is a lot of discussion, and I saw Spenmo Rax put it on the Woodward Sports chat poll. Would you like to see Keenan Allen in Detroit? And there was a lot of dissent. There was a lot of Keenan Allen dissent.
I'm surprised.
The availability, man.
Yeah.
Like, that's it all comes back to that. You were spurned by Keenan Allen in your fantasy efforts last year.
Yeah.
How were you? How'd that taste, Spenmo?
Yeah, it didn't taste good. Did not taste good, that's for sure.
Someone else wanted to know, D-Mac, who did you hang out with in the offseason from Toronto during your playing days?
Who did I hang out with from Toronto? I don't think I really hung out with anybody from Toronto.
See, I like it. But give me an example, though, D-Mac. Like at a Vegas fight. You're a big fan of the fight game.
Yeah.
Who would you hang out with?
You'd see down there. Like, you'd see, like, the best part was, like, you go to the NHL alumni and all the guys would be there. And, you'd be golfing and you'd be hanging out and you'd, go to dinner and go to the bars and stuff like that. And all the other tough guys, like, guys like Donald Brashear and, the late Wade Belak runs the mind. It's funny because, and just looking back on it years previous, so my first, few years, I remember we were out in Banff, and I think it was like after the first year, '94, but I ended up hanging out with a lot of the Calgary guys, and then 10 years later, I ended up going to Calgary. It just sort of seems that it is, but yeah, because in hockey too, 99% of the time is throughout the season. You run into guys and you have respect, or you played them in junior and stuff like this. So you'd be more surprised than not. Like, all the tough guys are usually buddies.
I've said this to you a million times.
Punch me in the face, buy me beer. That's pretty much it. Hey, you got me good tonight. I'll get you good next time.
Like, listen, just how dismissive he is about that. Like, they knock each other's teeth out of their mouth. And they're like, had to be done.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's a man's game.
Your existence is crazy to me.
It's a job. You're just built that way.
It is. It's absolutely crazy to me, man. Your existence. By the way, Keenan Allen has an out after this year.
There's talks of them cutting him too.
Yeah. I mean, I can see why. He's a $35 million cap hit next year.
Oh!
Well, $35
he's definitely not going to play for that.
With 11.6 in dead cap. So they would save about $23 million on cap space. He's gone.
Oh, for sure.
He is gone.
Yeah, they're talking about cutting him
That's a good example,
now.
too. Mike G brings up, he said, D-Mac, did you go to Chelio's camp on the beach the offseason? What Chelly's workout guy, TK, but all the hockey guys used to go through Malibu and stuff like this. So when I was out there in summer camp, I used to go work out with those guys.
Mm-hmm. So, it was something I was curious about, and I know that everyone just flips out about it. And again, we're a very voyeuristic society. We always like to know what other people are up to, and I never understood that. You big voyeur, Spenmo? Little bit?
Nah, not really. I just keep to myself. I worry about me. No, I don't really care. Like, you're gonna do whatever you're gonna do, and I'll figure it out. I can only control what I'm doing, so I'm just gonna focus on that.
I know what Brandon Katz says.
Yes.
He don't care.
Yes. Don't care.
Yeah.
Don't care. Still don't care.
Don't care.
D-Mac, could you ever handle a workout with Rod Brindamore?
No, that's like, well, yeah, because that's like drapes. So I could do that, but psychotic. Like, there's a difference. Like, Rod Brindamore and Chris Draper, they get sick if they don't work out. Darren McCarty gets sick when he does. So, you got to know your limitations.
I've never
seen a barbell score a goal.
No.
I've never been on a nude cruise, Steve Wilds. I would go, though.
Cardio is just the biggest thing, right? That's number one. Cardio. Like, the strength, it's changed, but I mean, now more so into the core and everything else. So it's important. But you see a lot of like yoga's huge, Pilates is huge, all this core strength stuff, which is change training. Instead of just hucking up weight like it used to be, right now you're working smarter, more resistance bands and all this stuff. So flexibility is important.
Yeah, so Keenan Allen ain't going anywhere this year, though. Sitting on, he's a $13 million cap hit, but he's a $24.5 million dead cap. So it's going to cost you $12 million more to get rid of him this year. So he ain't going anywhere this year. It will be next offseason where he is cut.
Is that something you put in your back burner? Like as an idea, just like.
Well, that's why I brought it up, like, because we'll see this maybe as they get through the season. You know, he could be like a trade deadline. What's a trade deadline? Like week 9-ish, something like that. He could be like a trade deadline. Maybe if they agree to eat some of the salary, maybe somebody. But you know what? No, they won't, because they're not taking on $35 million cap hit. So he ain't going anywhere.
Not a chance.
He's stuck. He is stuck with the Chargers. But again, tell me how the cap's not real. Chargers are living it right now with Keenan Allen.
Yeah.
Backload it up, everybody. Backload it up.
Those backloaded deals are cool until they hit.
Until they're not.
Yeah.
You know, but I was told, you know, some other people at this network tell you, hey, the cap's
not today's price.
It is not today's price.
It's true.
Some other people at the network will tell you, hey, cap's not real.
Yeah. Well, they could, like, if he wasn't old, they could restructure that, right?
Well, no, because they already restructured once.
Oh, so you can't do it again?
Correct.
Oh, damn. Can't just keep kicking the can down the road. You eventually got to pay it.
You eventually got to pay it. I don't know how nude cruises and nude beaches became a thing on here, but it did.
I lost my virginity on a cruise.
Apollo in the WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Nude cruises and nude beaches 100% have the people you would not want to see at a nude beach
that is
or
true.
on a nude cruise.
That's yeah.
Is this going to replace the Grandpa Joe?
I'd go on a nude cruise. I like being naked.
Of course you would.
My dad hasn't been home for a week.
Go streaking through the commons.
My dad hasn't been home for a week. I've been walking around my house naked all day. I'm just freeing.
Spenmo, you don't strike me as somebody that's walking around naked, though. You strike me as
Spenmo is the guy that gets to the point and we're going streaking.
No,
and then the clothes come off.
I don't think it's that. I don't think Spenmo does. I'm gonna walk around naked. I think Spenmo's walking around being one with the earth.
Yes. Yeah, that's
like
fair.
a person that doesn't wear shoes, not because
like alone, like the show.
No, just like one with the earth.
How God intended.
Naked and afraid.
How God intended.
Naked and not scared.
Yeah, naked and not scared. Naked and stoked.
Naked and stoked.
Steve Wild says it's more comfortable.
It is more comfortable, for sure.
Once you get past the uncomfortable. See,
naked and bricks.
Yeah.
Naked and brick. Spenmo Raxter in the wild.
Spenmo Raxter story. Just a kid.
I signed up for Naked and Afraid.
Did you?
Yeah, it was like at a mall one time. It was like
what you hear when you walk around in the nude, you need insurance just in case something happens to your bits.
That's true.
Maybe. Is that something Swiss Insurance would offer? I don't know.
Oh, I'm sure they would consider it at least if you want to run it by him. But anywho, like our draft picks, did the GM do his job? Be a boss and take control of your insurance options. Draft a company that will give you the most cost-effective plan and protect you like the best O-line in the league. Email Swiss Insurance today at mark@swissins.com, or you can just go to their website at swissins.com.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
By now you know me, Christina Gennari, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com, as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
Off and running here on Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neal, Ruhl, Darren, McCarty, Sam Flannel, Spencer Rockstar here with you, all of you, in the woodwardsports.com chat thread. Did want to take a look at this, and it's still hot. By the way, subscribe to the Big D Energy podcast, iTunes, Spotify, Spreaker, and the Woodward Sports.
Five star.
And the Woodward Sports YouTube channel as well. And yeah, if you could leave a review, that would be cool. Get the algos firing up on this thing. Let's get it in front of more and more people. I'm biased, but I do believe this to be a factual statement. One of the very best sports talk shows in the Detroit area and Detroit sports media. Tell me who's better. I'll wait.
I'd agree with that.
Tell me who's better. I'll wait. But here we are doing it up. And the NHL Draft Lottery, we spent the better part of 2.5 segments yesterday talking about the NHL Draft Lottery. So people asked for it. I'm a man of the people. D-Mac's a man of the people. Big D Energy, you know, we're of the people. So, hey, let's reset D-Mac once and for all as we get ready to go into the draft and get ready to go into free agency. Let's blow it out and see where the Red Wings sit. Is that fair?
Perfect.
That's fair. We'll start with the draft, as we talked about. We know where they are picking. They are picking at 9. By the books right now, they're picking at 18. But at about 10 o'clock tonight, they'll be picking 17 in the draft after Toronto, get them out of here, gets bounced. Then in the second round, they are picking 41, 42, and 43. The Red Wings, financially, as they sit, $33.2 million in cap space. Now, obviously, they have to sign their draft class as well, but for all intents and purposes, right around $30 million in cap space. Fair?
Fair.
So, look, I know it didn't go the way everybody wanted to, especially when they jumped in the playoff chase. But the one thing I value, before we get into the fantasy hockey stuff that everyone loves and that we're going to do, as this organization sits right now, was it disappointing last year how it ended? It was. Is this team in as good a shape as anybody structurally? Draft capital, finances, are they in as good a shape as any team in the National Hockey League? Yes.
And I think with that goes exactly knowing what they need also, right?
And that's not nothing.
That's not nothing. As far as when you know that we all agree that we need that 1C, we need that 40-goal scorer. Maybe that's one guy, maybe that's two. But the thing is that the clarity, do we believe in Mo Seider's going to continue to improve and be better, and he is, for lack of a better term, that stalwart, that Victor Hedman defenseman for Tampa Bay Lightning for their Stanley Cup back in their blue line. And is he that guy? Or lack of a better term, and I'm not saying he's Nick Lidstrom, but I'm saying, does he play the role of a Nick Lidstrom or a Nick Lidstrom? You know, so we can agree with that. Pieces are falling into place, and it's also, too, the beauty with this organization is the younger guys, they're up quick because they're developed and they're ready to play. So it's just a matter of what is usually the miss. Usually the miss is going from the European bigger size Olympic ice style to a smaller NHL style rink. So give them adjustments. Who needs adjustments to that? Usually goaltenders and defensemen, you know, for the most part. Plus you got all this young guys. Steve Yzerman has the ability also, like Brad Holmes, is drafting guys, drafting NHL guys. You made a bold statement yesterday that I don't think is as bold, that you said with the 41, 42, 43, if Steve Yzerman
there will be an all-star if he uses them all.
All three picks, there'll be an all-star. And I said even that one of those picks, probably two of those picks, if he uses them, will be stalwarts to a Stanley Cup winning team. That's where they're at right now. Not only do they know what they need on the top end, they also know what they need in filling the cracks too.
Lorena Rios says Neal loves him some cap space. I do. That is flexibility. Also, Rich Diana says Neal demands cap space from his children. I know, but they eat up more cap space than I would like. I will say that. That is definitely the case. Tammy Chin says we need center and defense. All right, so let's crack the knuckles. You got $30 million in cap space. You got 5 draft picks, 5 of the first 43 draft picks. So check. We got money to spend. We got a lot of draft capital. So let's get into it. Red Wings, as they sit right now on the books, highest paid player, Dylan Larkin, $8.7 million cap hit. He's 17.3% of the cap right now, but he signed long-term. There's nothing you can do about it. That's where it is. Our goal is to get this to be the 2C as it sits. Is that fair? Okay, moving on. Then let's get into it. Right away, center's the need, right? That's what everyone's thirsty for, that big-time center. Let me read you the list of available centers right now, because it's grim. Jonathan Toews.
No.
Ryan O'Reilly at 33.
Yeah, a little too old. He's not your 1C.
Sean Monahan.
He's struggled downhill. No.
Jordan Staal at 35. Patrice Bergeron at 38.
He's done.
Yeah, he's done.
Alexander Killorn at 34.
Again, accessory pieces.
Alexander Kerfoot at 29 from Toronto.
Accessories.
Can we agree it's not going to get any better?
No, not through free agency,
Yeah.
but where you have to dig into, right, is like I mentioned yesterday, is dig into the restricted. Who are the years left? Who are in the situation that Florida made the move for Tkachuk with a restricted deal, right? The place that I look first and foremost is Winnipeg, because there's a bunch of guys. There's two guys that I really like in Kyle Connors and Pierre-Luc Dubois, right, which can be 1Cs, right, and stuff like that to produce. So what would that entail? Those are $9 million players, $9.5 million players. You'd have to offer them $38 million. But then would you use your draft picks and using that to bring it over? I see either you're bringing in a 40-goal guy. You might have the 40-goal guy being able to develop, but I don't know if he's out there, Neal. But I do think that one of those two is a guy that maybe Steve Yzerman's eyeballing.
You asked for the restricted free agents at the center spot. Alex Turcotte from the Kings, restricted free agent. Other restricted free agents. Sharon Govich from the Devils, restricted free agent. But the Devils are there.
Right.
They're there.
So, and I'm not saying anything because I think these being restricted is that these are good enough players that they want to get retained.
Absolutely.
So there's a lot of things where they're not going to give up because the money's not going to be too big. Now with Winnipeg, like I said, right, where Connors and Dubois or whatever like that, but if they're looking to implode their team, just like Winnipeg or Toronto will be after this, and we'll wait and see what happens with Edmonton, but teams will be looking to make changes.
And Hoof Hearted asked, is there a distressed asset list around? And yeah, DMAC was kind of giving you that one. So we can agree there is no helping you at the center spot in free agency. That is off the table.
Yeah, nothing that we're interested in. Not to get your 1C. You mean helping you down the lineup, maybe? But
all right.
No.
So that's off the table for free agency. So we can stop with that. People said defenseman is a need. Do you agree?
Yes, always.
See, if you had to rank them, DMAC, give me 3 needs for the Red Wings. Power rank your 3 needs.
Goal scorers, number 1, right?
Okay.
Which means a 40-goal guy.
I think you can get that from a wing, right? More readily than you can from a center.
But you need a sniper, right? Then you need that 1C guy, and then you need to continue the defenseman to develop. You're better at defense and development because Sider's a year more along. Evanson's, you have the guys there, the Wallmans you've hit with. Like, there's guys there, but they need still that development to that next level. Right? I mean, Ole Mata's been huge.
So am I reading you right, DMAC, to say you are content with the defensive core?
Content with as they're progressing,
yes.
But you could always add something to help it out. Either a veteran guy.
Like a John Klingberg?
Nah, I think he's
$7 million?
No,
31 years old?
No, you're see it all depends on which the ice time and which way you want to go. If it's more of a power play production guy or a penalty killing
35-year-old Eric Johnson?
No, see, like some of these guys are fill-in pieces at 5 and 6, roles that like the Hags played this year. And
Orlov from Boston at 32.
I like Orlov.
Okay.
You saw like he's a guy that you could add, can log minutes, plays power play, kills penalty. And he's young enough too. You could sign him. And what's he around?
Orloff, $5 million, 5.1. So maybe bump him to 5.5 to get him
and he's a bit of a sought-after commodity. So
and that slots nicely, right? Like when you have $30 million of cap space, that's an easy check to write. And that's where easier check to write.
But remember, and here's the beauty: there's no such thing as giveaway. Steve Eisman does not give away anything, right? You have to earn it. So so when you know that no matter how much he's paying a guy, whether the minimum or the max or whatever, that's the value that for what he's going to use that person for.
What about this question? Lorena Rios asks, how about a 30-goal scorer? Like, I don't know, a Bertuzzi.
Right, but where's the money? Because Bertuzzi's what's going to get $7.5-8 million on the open market. You're not going to pay that.
See,
I don't
and
think.
I mean, D-Mac, and you bring up a great point because I want people to wrap their head around this. 30-goal guys in the league. The entry to the cover charge to get in that club is north of $7 million a year.
Yeah.
That's a non-negotiable. Like you want to go buy these? You want to go buy that? That's what it costs. Goals are expensive. They always have been. In every sport, goals are expensive.
No, and they're hard to come by, right? And I know that defense wins championships, but you got to be able to put the puck in the net and to have that consistency. So I just would expect that Tyler Bertuzzi would be a sought after commodity, just like Matthew Tkachuk was last year. And the fact that he's unrestricted, he's probably going to get closer to $8 million. And especially from his playoff performance too.
And the defense. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Spenny.
No, it's just like the playoff performance. It will definitely bump it up. But like, not every team's got a Pasternak and a Bergeron that he's playing with.
And see, that's the other thing I want us to wrap our head around. Like we talk about, go get a 40-goal guy, 30-goal guy. Can they be a 30-goal guy or a 40-goal guy here? As it sits right now, because the center becomes the thing that's going to tie this all together, D-Mac, because you need it.
There is the ability where there's the natural goal guys to whatever, but you need it. Is it more imperative to get that 1C to be able to sprout the 40-goal guy?
And this is where the road for the Red Wings is narrowing as we speak, right? Like it's becoming apparent what the need is, because to unlock this offense. Why was Boston so great over the course of the season? They had 2 1Cs.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
Yeah.
That's fair, right, D-Mac?
Yeah.
That's a fair statement?
Yeah.
They had 2 1Cs.
And they got 3 50-goal scorers.
We don't have a 1C.
Yeah.
And it's a 1C league. If you want a shot, you got it. Well, like, look around, man. Look around.
Yeah, I mean, you need it. You need it up front.
You do. Like, that's just the way it is.
And we need Rasmussen to stay healthy.
And people were talking, Tammy Chim was talking about that. We need Ras to stay healthy. You do. And, guys, you know what? At some point, and I'll probably catch flack for this in the same way I caught flack for the Larkin stuff, although he did deliver. Much like Aiden Hutchinson, where I caught flack for that, but he did deliver. Rasmussen's got to stay healthy this year, D-Mac. He's got to play, man.
Yeah,
he's got to score.
You know why he's got to stay healthy? He's got to stay healthy because he's a difference maker. We saw what this is. So here's the whole thing.
That's a huge key next year. You're not saying
it in the Zadina form that I need you to produce. It's because you do produce and you make this team go, right? What do we see? There's a different team with him in the lineup. So he's got to stay healthy because he's a guy that gets the other guys to go. Can we not agree? When they lost him, that's when things started going going south. So yeah, and he's just second, third line guy. But the fact that he can play the wing and the fact that he can play all different scenarios, the fact that he's playing into his side, he's huge. Mark my words, I believe. Right? And yes, you can go out and get some, but the goal scorer that's coming out of this organization, right, has just emerged a little bit at the end of last year, and he's a local kid. His name's Carter Mazur, and this kid can score. And if he can spend half the year or a little bit, or maybe make the team out of camp because he's that good of a scorer, right? This could be your 40-goal guy.
Lombardi looks pretty good too.
2 or 3 years.
There are a couple comments I want to get to when we come back on this, and Tammy Chim brought up a good one that I want to address. My plan wasn't to take 2 segments with this, but we're going to, because it's a great point by Tammy Chin, and we need to talk about it. We do, as we get ready for the Red Wings summer off season. Speaking of summer, Planet Fitness making their commitment to our youth. High schoolers ages 14 to 19 can work out for free all summer long from May 15th until August 31st. first. Go to planetfitness.com. Get the details of the Planet Fitness High School Summer Pass. We are live at the Planet Fitness Studios. I was there again this morning, getting it in. It's a big part of my life.
How many miles?
5 miles today. 5 miles today.
5 miles.
Breaking news. We're gonna kick that up. The 5 miles. That's the daily thing. We're kicking that up next week to 5.5 miles every day. That's what we're gonna get 10% better every month. That's the goal, and you can do it at Planet Fitness for just $1 down, $10 a month for access to your home Planet Fitness. And look, you can still work out at Planet Fitness, even if guys like me that are on a treadmill for an hour, doesn't matter. They have an army of treadmills, army of weights, all of that. Never have to wait for any equipment, any of that stuff at your local Planet Fitness. So again, $1 down, $10 a month. Give it a spin, everybody. You'll be surprised. You absolutely will be surprised. I've been there over 3 years personally. They don't give me a free membership. I pay for it with my own money, and I'm happy there. I'm happy to talk about places that I enjoy. Go to planetfitness.com or pull in the parking lot. You'll pass a couple on the way home. It's Planet Fitness, Darren McCarty.
Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential.
By now you know me, Christina Gennari, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com, as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Keeping it pushing, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal, Ruhl, Darren McCarty, Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter here with you. Jump into that, woodwardsports.com chat thread as well. And Tammy Chin brought up a point that I want to address as Red Wings and as Red Wing fans, because I want to get the temperature of the room. Dante151 says you can't get a 40-goal guy in free agency because you'd have to pay a pretty penny to get those types of players. Bingo, Dante. Now they have a pretty penny available.
Got the penny to pay.
They can make those moves.
Pretty pennies around.
Yeah, absolutely. But Tammy Chin brings up a point. And look, I'll ask this question directly to Tam. Season ticket holder at pretty much every single game, rides and dies with the Red Wings. Has stuck through the team through the lean years, which we're pushing a decade of lean years here with the. We are.
Yeah, I know.
I know no one likes to talk about it, but we are. Tigers, same deal. We're pushing a decade of irrelevancy. That's what it is. Don't be mad at me. I wasn't the GM. Tammy Chin says we need to start drafting young kids and bring them through the system. So, Tammy, I would ask you then, you specifically, as a season ticket holder, are you fine with that? Because we talk about draft capital in 5 picks of the first 41 in the NHL draft. And Stevie has 3 picks in a row in the second round. I guarantee that he will come through with an all-star on one of those 3 picks in 3 years. Are you cool with that, Tammy? Looking you right in the eyes right now. Are you cool with that? As bare as it's been here, for as long as it's been. Like, when you put that comment in there, are you cool with that? Because I got to be honest with you, D-Mac, and I know you're not. You've come out and said it. You said we got to make a move this year.
Yeah, but making the move this year is to make the playoffs.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
No. So you could still develop guys. I think what you see is the guys that are drafted develop a lot quicker if they're going to play. Hence, last year Marco Kasper gets in. Carter Mazur's up in GR. All these other things. So the fact that you can develop these guys, but you're not going to let them percolate as much, right? That's the whole thing. So. Yes, you can, if that's the plan. At the end of the day, you know what it is, Neal? Hashtag Wiser playing 1919.
Yeah.
Whatever he says. We're about 3 years away, but this year it's playoffs. That's You know, like, I'm not getting ahead to Stanley Cup, to finals, whatever like this. This year is about making the playoffs. Now, we said it yesterday. What do you need? 93, 95 points to make the playoffs, so they're going to have to improve by like 6 wins. How do you do that? You score goals. You get better that way. I think what you've seen is Steve Yzerman drafts guys. I see, you know, all these names I hear. Jonathan Berger, 25, 30 goal guy. These are guys that are in your organization that are ready to make this step. But here's the thing. If this team and these individuals aren't ready to make the step when Steve Yzerman's ready for him to make a step, then that's where he makes different moves, I believe. That's what it is.
Chuck Brewer says, if we see improvement each year, I'm good. But Let's Go Red Wings Party says, I don't want to wait 3 more years if we can flip 2 of these draft picks for ready talent. But can you? See, like, I think
if
we
anybody
need to,
can, Stevie can.
And that's fair. That's fair to say.
That's the whole thing. Like here's the whole thing. It's like let him cook. Let him do. He's got 30 minutes. Like, geez, can we just wait? See what it is? Because he's got to work whatever magic it is. And it's the one thing, what do you always say? And what do I always say? Is he'll explain to you if you listen after the direction he's going. Always remember, he's going to give us what we want, but not when we want it, when he wants to. And sometimes, Neal, when you're driving down the road, you get a flat tire, which slows you down. You have to pull over and change the tire so it doesn't continue to cause further damage down the road.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Daniel Bridger says, people are going to turn on Stevie. It's not fair, but it's true. And I think, going back to Chuck's point, as long there was improvement this year. You could see it. Like, I admit, right? I enjoy hockey. I like hockey. I'm not a trained eye in it, and I don't pretend to be. Like, I understand money and how that dictates what happens. But with that being said, going back to opening day last year for the Red Wings, just watching, that was my first report back to DMAC the next day. It looked different to me. And I don't know Ish, right? Compared to a scout or to a Draper or an Yzerman, even a Darren McCarty who played the game. I don't know. But, you know, I'm around it a lot. I call a lot of sports. There are certain commonalities that you see where dudes look different. Other than the face-off thing, which continued to be a problem to me, other than that, they looked competent. Kopp was an NHL player. Like, they brought in Kopp. He was an NHL player. You know, they brought in, you know, guys that were NHL players.
They allowed like 60 less goals than they did last year.
Perron scored on the power, was a power play threat. Something that it was like pulling teeth for them to get a power play goal the year before.
The penalty kill and the power play were so vast.
It just takes long. You can't turn it up overnight. The NFL is the 3-year plan. The NHL, to do it right, is a 6-7 year plan. And you look at where Colorado, look at their window. And it's all how you balance your cap too with your picks. That's like, it's a human juggling trick. And the fact that Steve Yzerman is the best at it, sit back and wait. I mean, and Tammy, you're right. But you know that too. It's the fair weather fans that jump on and off. Just wait and see. Why do we always have to have now? You got to show me now. It's got to be this. It's got to be that. You know if it's piecing together and improving.
The away fan asks, Neal, do we still have dead cap? If so, how much? Hey, I'm glad you asked.
I think $1 million, right?
Yes, there is. $1.05 million to Justin Abdelkader.
Get paid, Sparty.
Spartan Dogs.
Spartan Dogs.
And the away fan, you will have that dead cap on your books until 2026. You'll be paying Justin Abdelkader $1.05 million a year.
That's my guy.
No.
Thanks, Ken Holland. So there's that as well.
Spartan Dog.
2% of your cap goes to Justin Abdelkader until 2026.
Damn right it does.
Which sounds worse? That you're giving Abdelkader $1 million a year, or he's 2% of your cap?
2%.
2% of the cap sounds egregious, doesn't it?
It does sound a lot worse.
God, man. But whatever. You can sit there, you know. I am going to sit here and cry about it and deal with it at the same time. Is that fair? Can I do that, D-Mac? I can cry about it, right?
Yeah, I mean, everybody else does. So why wouldn't you?
Thank you.
I mean, it's tough to be patient, but it's just the process because we don't want to keep falling through the cracks. It's like 3 little pigs. Stevie wants to build the mansions so they don't blow down.
Marked Royal, is Abdelkader still in the NHL? He is not.
No, he is not.
Hasn't been for a minute.
Still getting checks, though.
Still a Spartan dog.
Still a Spartan dog. Always be a Spartan dog.
Yeah, so there is that. Hey, I get it. We're going to wrap it up with the Red Wing stuff till the draft rolls around. We'll take a look at it. When does free agent? I'll put some people on the spot. NHL free agency. When does that? Is that July also that starts?
Yeah,
I can't remember.
I believe so.
Yeah. So we'll revisit it. I just wanted to put a bow on it. Wrapping up the draft lottery and all that kind of stuff. So, I just wanted to touch on it, D-Mac. And I hope that people took a look at that and understood, as opposed to last year, D-Mac, where I think Yzerman was able to change, not the face of this franchise, but I think he was able to change the trajectory of this franchise through free agency. I don't think that those same opportunities are available this year, just based on who's out there.
What did he have to do, Neal? You always said he had to get the books right. He had to get the money right. He had to take whatever he took from Kenny Holland to move on to square it around. Now it's in different waters. But the whole thing is he's got a pocket full of money. He's got a pocket full of picks, and he can dictate, like he is, for lack of a better term, one of the dictators of how things roll. It's just once he gets it on board and he gets the guys you want, you'll know because he'll tell you. Right? He'll tell you. So, and the fact that you have to earn it with Steve, right? Whether you're part of the organization, you played here, or you haven't, you have to earn it.
Absolutely. Let's take a break. When we come back, I have a critical college football question that's coming from left field. Spenmo and Sam Flannel are both affected by this, and they don't know what the question is. We're going to ambush them on the air.
But first, let me tell you about Guardian. Let Guardian Alarm offer you customized solutions from real experts, professional technicians who take the time to recommend security and automation solutions specific to your needs. But I need you to call Guardian Alarm today. The number, 1-800-STAY-OUT. 24/7 professional monitoring. Call us anytime, day or night. Know that a Guardian team member will stay on the phone as long as it's needed. But I need you to call the number today. 1-800-STAY-OUT. Technology backed by people. Yes, real people. Homo sapiens. Your safety and security deserves technology that's proven to work. And real, gosh darn people who have been proven to really care. Like they care about Sam Flannel, the Legend Killers. Flannel protection. How many straight days now, Sam?
273.
Woo! 273 straight days of flannel protection. He's been wearing 273 straight days. Not the same one. He washes them. But the plethora, because Guardian Alarm has protected them. Now, if you have something business or personal that you need protected, give Guardian Alarm a call today. The number 1-800-STAY-OUT.
Start of the Eastern Conference Finals, Jason Tatum. You are just a star, not a superstar.
Damn. Dude. Sometimes you forget about the Legend killing until he just drops it on me. Stay out of winning the series, Guardians. You guys suck. Ohio sucks. Go back and just be lame.
Stay off the base path, Spencer Torkelson, if you're going to run the bases like that.
That wasn't good. Javi got thrown out at home, too.
Guardian Alarm, your local security experts. Tell Big D Energy we sent you.
Since the dawn of moving people, Chevrolet has led the way. The world of transportation is changing. At Feldman Chevrolet, we are leading the charge forward. With every electric vehicle, every mile traveled, one Feldman at a time. The company that puts more Chevys on Michigan roads is now the #1 name for Chevy electric vehicles.
Big Boy Strawberry Fest has officially arrived, and we're here to show you the very best flavors of the season. Satisfy your sweet tooth with our deep-fried vanilla Oreos, strawberry hot fudge cake, and a slice of our classic strawberry pie. But that's not all. Cool off on a refreshing summer splash salad, or savor the flavors of our chicken Caesar wrap and strawberry bacon chicken wrap. And for breakfast lovers, don't miss out on our strawberry hotcakes or our mouth-watering red velvet waffle. Strawberry Fest is something for everyone. Celebrate the sweet season with us at Big Boy.
Pushing up to the second hour of the show, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal, Ruhl, Darren, McCarty, Sam Flannel, Spencer Rax. If you're just tapping in, jump into the woodwardsports.com, chat, Greg, get your thoughts out there. We will read some of them as the show rolls along. Subscribe to the Big D Energy podcast, iTunes, Spotify, Spreaker. 5-star review it if you would. Be so kind as well. Help us with the algorithms. Get it in front of more and more people, and subscribe to the Woodward Sports YouTube channel like tens of thousands of you have done already. WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Nicholas Duncan just says Grandpa Joe. That's fair. Tim K says Spencer Torkelson is hitting the ball. Yeah,
Yes,
I mean,
he's been hitting it better.
Yeah, he's hitting 240. If that's hitting the ball to you, he's hitting the ball.
He's hitting the ball.
That's hitting the ball for him.
He's hitting like 380 in May.
240 batting average with a 294 on base percentage. See, the thing that grinds me about it is I was told he walks. Like he's a selective hitter and he takes walks.
Yeah.
That's why I was hype. And he broke Barry Bonds' home run records at Arizona State. I was hype about that.
Mm-hmm. Haven't seen much of either of those.
That's my problem. Like, yes, he's hitting the ball. That's nice, but then don't get thrown out on the bases.
Yeah.
That's my other angle of it. Big game, though, for the Tigers today.
He's been better.
He has been, yeah.
Past couple
but,
weeks.
like, it's not hard to be better when you're hitting 180.
That is fair.
Is that fair?
Fair.
Okay. You can never say I'm not fair. You can never say I'm not fair. I had a critical college football question. And I'm going to pose this, D-Mac, to Spencer, and I'm going to pose it to Sam Flannel because I'm curious. And because I know how this is going to be portrayed, and I know how you guys are going to feel about it, so I'll just get the first one out there. Question for you, Sam Flannel. If Joe Milton, who is one of the Heisman favorites next year,
That's pretty wild.
believe it or not, favorite to win the Heisman Trophy, one of them, it's Caleb Williams' award to lose, obviously, but Joe Milton is in the discussion. If Joe Milton rolls out at Tennessee next year and throws for 50 touchdowns, how does that make you feel about Michigan offensively? And Spencer Raxter, by all accounts, it sounds like Peyton Thorne's going to be the starter at Auburn.
More than likely, yeah.
If he rolls out and they have a good season, he has a good season,
Mm-hmm.
how does that make you feel about the offensive game plan at Michigan State? I want both of your responses to this. Well, Sam Flannel, we'll start with you. At the same damn time. No, Sam Flannel, I want to start with you. If Joe Milton rolls out there for real and throws for 50-ish touchdowns, which, according to the Heisman betting odds, he's certainly capable of this year. We saw what Hendon Hooker did.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Milton sliding
into the greater point of everybody, I have a backup question about that. But Sam Flannel, we'll start with you. How would that make you feel?
I mean, he'll certainly be one that got away because we obviously saw how hyped he was. He has a cannon for an arm. I certainly thought that he was going to be the next great Michigan quarterback. That did not happen. And if he were to go to Tennessee and have a Heisman Trophy winning season, yeah, it would sting a little bit. It would be a bit of an indictment on the Michigan offense, who still, I don't think they've ever had a quarterback throw for more than 25 touchdown passes in a season.
In this day and age, that is amazing to me.
That is fair. I guess the one thing that would soften the blow is Michigan is going to be very, very good, and they have the guy that I think will break that record this year and is generationally talented, at least for a Michigan quarterback.
Hey, Flannel, just keep saying it every year. It'll happen eventually.
I mean, J.J. McCarthy had a sneakily good year last year. Everybody talks like he didn't do a whole lot. He still had 22 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. I'm just saying. But
were 3 or 4 of those against Hawaii? I can't remember.
I think 3 were against Hawaii.
Okay.
He had a great game against Hawaii. But anywho,
they didn't cover the spread, though.
That is not.
Didn't cover the spread.
It was a get-right pick, that
They
one.
did not cover the spread. I think they won by, 56, and the spread was like 60 or something like that. Something crazy. But yeah, Joe Milton, if he goes to Tennessee and lights it up, it'll sting a little bit because I know how talented he was. He just could never get it together.
I was told he sucks.
He did suck at Michigan when you look at his numbers, but he has one of the strongest arms I've ever seen on a quarterback, period. He just didn't always know where it was going. And he had an attitude problem. I remember after Michigan lost to Michigan State in the COVID year, he was chirping about how he didn't even know who some of the players were, and that really some of the Michigan State players were, and that really rubbed me the wrong way. But I'm not gonna act like it wouldn't affect me at all if Joe Milton lights it up for Tennessee. But I also think J.J. McCarthy will light it up for Michigan, and that will ease the pain. And I think Michigan will have a better record than Tennessee in this upcoming season. Everything can be erased if Michigan just goes
Well, yeah,
out.
because Tennessee plays in a real conference.
And Tennessee, they're also losing Jalen Hyatt and Cedric Tillman. I think their number one receiver is going to be Brew McCoy, which is a bit of a
Brew McCoy.
That's a fact.
That's a cool name.
Transfer from USC. Yeah.
The response to that in the WoodwardSports.com chat thread, Fletch lives daily. Sam looks like the brawny paper towel guy. All right, Spencer Raxter. Peyton Thorne. Peyton Thorne. If he goes on to have a good year at Auburn, say he puts up, $3 grand,
Yeah.
30-plus touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
What does that tell you about Michigan State and what they do offensively?
I mean, it tells me everything I already know, that they didn't throw the ball as much as they should have with what they had over the past couple of years with Speedy Naylor, Jaden Reed, and Keon Coleman. They should have been throwing the ball 40 times a game, and they didn't. I'm with Flannel in the same kind of boat that I think Noah Kim and or Caden Hauser, whoever wins the role, is better than Peyton Thorne, but I wouldn't be surprised to see him go out there and put up numbers at Auburn if they air out the ball, because that's what we were all calling for the past 2 years as MSU fans, and they didn't do it. So, it is what it is, but he had the ability to do that. You saw him make good throws deep down the field to Jaden Reed, to other people, but it is what it is. I wouldn't be surprised, but it also speaks to what MSU struggled with, especially last year when you had Jaden Reed and Keon Coleman and Trey Mosley, and you just didn't throw the ball as much as you should.
Yeah,
here's my question to all three of you. It's a chicken and the egg scenario. For both these guys, you have from your both team, is it the system that they went and played that is better, or is it the quarterback that got better, right? Because for a fact, what are we talking about, right? Hendon Hooker comes from Tennessee, and everybody says, it's set up for the one system. So we'll find out if Joe Milton is any good in this system. But is it Joe Milton being good, or is it the system? Same thing for Auburn. Isn't it a catch-22, or is it simpler than that?
See, because the system that they run at Tennessee, we've seen it succeed at all of Heupel's stops wherever he's been in college football. You see, that's my point about it. And the greater question to everybody, like the Hendon Hooker crowd. Somebody asked me earlier, they're like, Neal, do you still hate Hendon Hooker? I don't hate Hendon Hooker. I don't like the draft pick in that we're swimming in the waters of winning playoff games and stuff like that. And if it goes according to plan, as it trending like it will, as far as Jared Goff is concerned, Hendon Hooker will never play here on his rookie contract. But with that being said, that's my issue with that, and that's not going to change. But through all of that, if Joe Milton, Michigan fans, if he rolls out and throws for 50 touchdowns and gets in the Heisman discussion, the Hendon Hooker thing, then it is looking like the system. Or it's looking like a lack of system at Michigan.
Well, that's
you
what
see
I'm
what I'm saying?
Do you
layers
pull
to
the
this.
thumb and blame, we don't have the right players for our system, or we don't run the right system? Spenny, would it be because of, lack of wins or lack of the success where you would look to say it's more on Michigan State to change what they're doing than it would be on Michigan because there's some success there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. They didn't play to their strengths last year. They were trying to run these sweeps. They were doing a bunch of dives.
Where are you at right now? And I'll ask you both this question. Michigan State going into the spring on your confidence level in your team.
Oh, I'm terrified.
Wait a minute, Spenmo.
What's terrifying?
Why'd you change? Is it just because of the Keon Coleman thing?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, so it's strictly the Keon Coleman
So
thing.
it's terrified. Are you at 0%, or are you at
for
10?
what? A 10-win season?
I mean, just that. Are you in dread that it's going to get worse before it gets better?
Yes.
So you're 20% right now.
Mm-hmm. I'd say so.
You got Bad Moon Rising right now,
yeah,
right?
I'd say.
What
25.
about you, Sam? As far as where are you
season.
at confidence with your program?
I mean, I'm extraordinarily confident because this is the best era of Michigan football, at least since the late 90s, without a shadow
Certainly
of a doubt.
their best era of scheduling.
Well, it also is their best era of football because those two big wins.
I don't know, dude. The game against the blind guys.
Yeah, Chicago School of Blind.
Oh, that's right. 1930 or the Chicago Dental School.
I mean, if we're going to keep you on point. Anyway, Sam, continue. Sorry for
Best era
interactive.
of scheduling with face mask attached to the helmets.
Because Michigan's the only school that ever schedules cupcakes. But anywho, that's fine. It's only not okay when we do it. But you know what?
No, the only school that schedules all cupcakes.
Well, the last couple of years, you actually have a case of
All
that.
right,
And I
there
will
it
give you
is.
that 100%.
They
But
play Texas next year, right? 2 year, like next
I'm
season?
sure that game will be played.
I'm not going to...
Just like hey, they scheduled Washington.
And they beat Washington in 2021 at home.
But when it was time to go on the road, did they play that game?
They did not play that game.
They bought out
MSU
of it?
did.
Oh, okay.
MSU did. I will give them credit for that. They got beat, but they played it. But
all right.
anywho, I'm extremely confident in Michigan going forward. I mean, they bring back their entire backfield: Donovan Edwards, Blake Corum, J.J. McCarthy. They bring back Keegan and Hayes on the offensive line. You've got Will Johnson, Junior Colson, Mike Sanderstill, guys like that coming back in the defense. This is set up to be the most talented Michigan team even of these past 3 years, and I think that they will get over the top this year.
I don't buy that either.
Come on.
I just hear it every year.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree that the backfield is going to be impressive. I was
Yeah,
surprised.
Donovan Edwards a star. You know that. You know how we feel about
That's what
that.
they should do, though. They should lean into Donovan Edwards more than Blake Corum.
But Blake Corum's a college superstar. I mean, we can all agree with that.
But
I know
Donovan Edwards is better.
he's better. He's absolutely better. But if you don't utilize Blake Corum, I think you are. I don't think that's wise.
I think you should utilize him for sure, but I think Donovan Edwards should be the lead back, and then Blake Corum come in as the change of pace.
And Donovan Edwards should be at least your third leading receiver.
Yes.
At least, if
Yes.
not more.
I agree.
If I was Jim Harbaugh, Donovan Edwards' usage would be off the charts this
Mm-hmm.
year. I will be getting him involved in every
I'd
single
have him
facet.
in New
He's a
York.
star.
He'd be in New York.
Oh, 100%. 100%. WoodwardSports.com chat thread. People Pleaser says Neal likes kickers in the third round. Hey, People Pleaser, you know who else likes kickers in the third round? The San Francisco 49ers. Where do they sit as a franchise right now? What are they trying to do right now?
Keep a quarterback healthy.
That's number one. And number two, they're in win now mode. They saw a chance to upgrade a position, and they did it in the third round.
Brandon Katz said Edwards and Corum are the same player. That's just not true.
Yeah, I would disagree with that sentiment as well. But I will agree that the Sports Marketing Agency helps spread awareness about mental health and substance abuse. They have a podcast out called This is the S Word, helps fight the stigma associated with seeking help. If you're struggling, or be a friend, someone you know is struggling, go to thesportsma.com, thesportsma.com, the Sports Marketing Agency. They're here to help.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. Baby, talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Ruhl, Darren McCarty, Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter here in the building. And, we're talking about it. I posed the question about the Joe Milton thing, who is up there as far as betting lines go to be the Heisman Trophy winner.
That'd be pretty wild. I mean,
he's going to get yards and he's going to get touchdowns, man. That's their system.
Without Tillman and Hyatt,
There'll just be another one because there's always been another one. Look at all the Tennessee wide receivers that have been drafted over the last 4 years.
that's fair.
There's a mountain of them. The system produces it.
I still think Hyatt's the best out of all.
I agree with you. I 100% agree. I wanted the Lions. That was the guy I wanted. As time went on, that's why I wanted the Lions.
Think about it though. Like reality-wise, before Hendon Hooker got hurt this year, wasn't he the Heisman Trophy
Oh yeah, he had it in the
runner?
bag. If
He was in the mix.
Like he was right up there with Bryce Young and everybody else. So I mean, like there is something there. Now, if you believe like that's what it comes down to. Are you in the camp that believes, in Milton, that you believe that they didn't get the most out of him at Michigan, or if he goes
That's
somewhere
the
else?
camp I'm in. And you guys know where I stand with it, Sam Flannel. I've been consistent with this too. It's not hating, and this goes to Michigan State. I think this goes to all of the Big Ten. The style of football they play prohibits them from winning when it all comes down to it. Yeah. It does. What was my whole breakdown of the TCU game? Like when you said, hey, paint a picture of how TCU can win. Speed, pace, number of plays. Michigan looked cooked at the end of that game, dude.
Guys, wouldn't this be the year, though, with J.J. McCarthy, the fact that if you were going to make
I was told it would be.
I'm saying with what you had, wouldn't it be the time to look into it and change it? Or is it the stubbornness of, we know what's best coming out of Michigan? Right, we already agree that there's way more things going on with Michigan State, and there's questions and is it the right coach and stuff. We know it's the right coach over here. I agree when Sam was breaking it down. You're in the best position that you've been. Is this now the time, maybe this off season, because it's J.J. McCarthy, because of all this, that they do maybe open it up a little bit more? Or do you
I always hear that, but I never see it.
They need to use Donovan Edwards out of the backfield, do this, like that. Do you expect to see something different? Because it's sounding from you, no. But sounding from you, from Sam, maybe this year you will get a little bit different because of the assets that you have.
It's just Michigan can win the Big Ten by throwing the ball 10 times a game. Like, they just can. And
right, because it's a bunch of crappy teams.
Yeah.
And Ohio State.
And I don't blame them. Like, I would do the same thing.
I would do the same thing, too. Yeah. That's what the situation dictates. You guys, you'll never hear me be critical of Jim Harbaugh, the coach. Never. Because why would you not? If you're going to throw the ball just for the sake of throwing the ball? No.
No. You can't stop the run. They're going to run the ball.
Bingo.
Yeah.
I would do that. Anybody would do that.
Yeah, but wouldn't you think that if what's holding you back from getting to the next level is to use this weaker schedule to try these things when you get to the open field against these SEC teams and the bigger teams, when you have to play an open up game, then you've done it before instead of just playing from behind? Because
but doesn't matter if you do it against Rutgers.
But to show you yourself, your team, your players that you can do it when it matters, right? And the whole scheme, and no, but I mean, if you're thinking about national championships, if you're only thinking about Big Ten championships and just being Ohio State, okay, continue as you're doing, because you can do that. You only got to beat one team, maybe two.
Yeah,
so that's all. Just wondering, because when you get out to the deeper waters, you can hang the bigger sail because you've put it up already.
D-Mac, it's funny when we have this discussion. I see the angst in your face. No, I do, for real, because you always talk up. What are we talking about here? Those are this is what I read on your face.
Yeah.
Like, what are we? Why are we playing? What are we talking about?
What are we talking about here? Right? Do we want to get? So maybe that's something that, because all I hear is, oh, there's talent. You got Blake Corum coming back. You got Donovan Edwards. You got J.J. McCarthy the second coming or whatever. Well, let these kids show this, and won't it piss you off even more because the expectations? I'm with you. I think that system is perfect for what Joe Milton has and stuff like this, and it's just the stubbornness of Michigan not creating around their quarterback, right? Look at what the Lions are doing, insulating their quarterback. I'd love to see J.J. McCarthy be in the conversation for the Heisman, but he'll never be playing that Big Ten Michigan style. And then when they get out in the open waters and they got to play somebody else, wouldn't it be exciting? Like if when they had to open it up against TCU, and you've seen him do it before, so you know that instead of throwing picks, he's having confidence to throw completions and touchdowns. Give the kids a chance. That's all. I guess that's what I'm saying. What are we talking about here? I think that a lot of the times the kids are hamstrung, right, and held back.
No, I would agree with that. And Flannel, again, it all comes back to you because you guys are the program. With all due respect to Spenmo and the Michigan State Spartans, he's terrified this year, to whereas 2 months ago Spenmo you drew a line in the sand. Remember, I asked you point blank. I said you guys have to play well next. You have to win games. You're like 100%. We are.
Yeah.
The recruiting class, all of it. And things that you've done a 180 on that. That's fair to say, right?
Yeah. I mean, you lose the best player on the team. It's not good. I still think they can. The schedule lines up for them to get 9 wins. I looked at it. I think they'll lose to Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State, and then I don't know. I think they can beat Iowa. I think they can beat other teams, but it's going to be tough. It's going to be a tough year.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Chris says Tennessee plays Virginia, Austin P, and UTSA. Come on, man. Yeah, you know what else they play? They're at Alabama, and they have Georgia coming to town.
At least we got Washington at home this year.
Yeah,
that should be better.
And they're at Florida too, by the way.
Iowa is going to be tough. Minnesota shouldn't be tough, but it is.
See, at least you're honest about it.
Yeah,
Spenmo. At least you're honest about it. So again, that's my thing, and it goes back to this. And I want to ask you this, Sam Flannel, because somebody in the WoodwardSports.com chat thread said Michigan's designed to win the Big Ten. Run, win the Big Ten.
See, here's the thing. I'm not saying that they were going to go on to beat Georgia. My thing is that despite all that happened, and I'm not making excuses, I'm just laying out the map of how it happened. TCU obviously shocked Michigan with their pace and physicality. That was a no doubt about it. Michigan needed to get some stops late, and they just couldn't do it. Especially seeing Quentin Johnston run all the way down that sideline. That image still burns in my soul to this day. But Michigan also did a couple of the worst things that you can possibly do. They threw 2 pick sixes and had 2 empty possessions basically at the TCU goal line. I still think, I will contend that Michigan and J.J. McCarthy and this offense did a lot to bring them back from the hole that they had dug basically themselves. I will admit that. I think they showed that if they open it up, they can be effective, at least in a college football playoff game. We all know they weren't going to beat Georgia, but they do have that capability, and I do trust for them no matter how they do it, to go through the regular season and the Big Ten championship game undefeated, and then they have a shot. I'm not too worried.
When they let JJ open it up and run around a little bit, they started making plays and they started coming back into it. And again, I understand not wanting to let him do it because you don't have to. Why put him in danger when you're playing Iowa or Nebraska or a team like that? You don't need for him to do it, but it's good to have those reps so he doesn't have to wait until the fourth quarter to pull it out in games that actually matter.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Ryan says Ohio and Penn State are our only tough games. And is Penn State really a tough game with James Franklin? You know our statement on James Franklin around here,
at
D-Mac.
Penn State, probably at night in the whiteout. I think it'll be tough.
Whiteouts are hype.
They are hype.
Yeah, but it doesn't help James Franklin.
That's true.
I think that Michigan will still win, but Penn State will keep that one close. That's one that I'm circling on the calendar as a potential trap game. I'll admit it, that's tough. Penn State is a perennial 9 to 10 win program, and they play very well at home.
9 to 10 Big Ten wins.
That's fair.
Yeah,
that's fair.
That's what they're designed for. Ryan says Joe Milton was down 17-0 to Rutgers. Cade McNamara came in and won. Let's not act like Michigan was holding Milton down. Well, we'll see, Ryan. If he comes out and throws for 4,000 yards and 50 touchdowns and their little happy action fun time offense that they do, if he does it too, then can we at least maybe pick up the thought that it could just be the system?
I mean, I don't know about just being the system for Tennessee. I think that Hendon Hooker and Joe Milton are both very talented quarterbacks. And for the record, if we're talking about Michigan in terms of developing getting the most out of their talented quarterbacks, yeah, they've struggled with that, and I will say that. But as a program, they are still at the highest they've been in many, many years. So I'm not worried too much. I'm not thinking too much about Joe Milton, although if he does end up in New York, there'll be a little bit of FOMO, I'll admit it.
Excuse me. Yeah, but I mean, it is. I just wanted to put that on your guys' radar, just so, you know, if it does shake out that way, we can say we addressed it.
It's entirely possible.
It is entirely possible. D-Mac, won't that be wild? Joe Milton's in New York.
But there's a possibility, right? There is a possibility with and we talk about Joe Milton's got the arm, but it's the accuracy and the reads. And you know what? What is Heupel's offense? It's a one read off is as simplified. Is it as simplified as any offense, right? As throwing offense in college football, right?
Yeah.
The one read, the way that it's set up, the receivers.
I mean, it's
like it's
totally
set up for
colleged
success.
out.
He's
Yes.
set up for success.
It's totally colleged out how they use the wider hashes and they get whatever receiver's on the mismatch with the linebacker, they're able to isolate that in space. And then, yeah, you know, if they're playing Vanderbilt, said linebacker is an mechanical engineering major who's there to go to school at Vanderbilt. going up against Jalen Hyatt in space. So
if you're playing Alabama, going up against Will Anderson and Brian Branch and Jordan Battle and Eli Ricks, I mean, it can go both ways. Come on, Neal. 5 touchdowns, 1 pick in that game. That was one of the best performances any single player put up all year.
That was a great game, no doubt. Absolutely no doubt. D-Mac, haircuts, right?
Absolutely. How would you like to win not 1 but 2 vehicles of your choice? 1 for you and 1 for your wife, your girlfriend, or your best bud, or maybe even a Spenmo Racks. Get to Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut and automatically enter for your chance to win. Courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. Lady Jane's open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh wait, it's 2 for $4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Krogers, and if you wanna know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
Back at it, coming on the stretch here. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Ruhl, Darren McCarty, Sam Flannel, Spencer Rackstad here with you, all of you, woodwardsports.com chat thread. Also, and, we were just chopping it up. Just a little college football, just a little sample. It's finally warm outside, so we're not too far away.
I can't wait. I'm golfing this weekend.
I'm
about to text Darius right now.
Spenmo's getting on that DMAC plan. He's getting on the golf course this weekend. Come hell or high water.
Oh, is he
doing
nice?
It. Yeah.
Get out there, Spenny.
You'll be out there today, right?
I'll be out there today, tomorrow, Friday.
Where are you playing at today?
Got the Ode up north of your place. Wednesday night golf league.
Okay. Oh, Pine Valley. All right.
Valley,
Yeah. Very cool.
Absolutely.
Very cool.
Birmingham action tomorrow.
Steve Wild says Neal hates Hooker so much Goff must have nudes of him as blackmail. And Steve, where's the unfair criticism? Is it that out of line for me to say, hey, the system they played in Tennessee is a very college-y system? The usage, is that fair or no?
That is fair.
Thank you, Spenmo. And you're a Hooker apologist.
I am. I love me a Hooker.
And the football player, too.
And yes, also Hendon Hooker.
Yeah, I know you do. That's on brand for you. I do want to ask you guys this. I do like at night, come home, get the kids situated, dinner's all situated and all that kind of stuff. I do like having my choice of NBA and NHL playoffs. And I just wanted to go around the room. D-Mac's compromised, I know that, but I'll still ask him nonetheless. It is a great time in that you have the ultimate reality television with the NBA playoffs, the NHL playoffs. I'm watching way more Major League Baseball than I thought that I would as well. NBA or NHL playoffs, D-Mac? I know where you decided.
No, I mean, it is NHL. I think, the excitement, the overtimes, just the Batman hockey as far as how tight things are. I think you look at the last 8 teams when Carolina's the team 17 years ago who's the last one to win a cup. 3 teams haven't won a cup. It's exciting. It's sort of the changing of the guard. It's new storylines. Obviously, anytime an 8C beats a 1, especially when they set a league record, that's huge. And then what Florida's, the Bob effect. So there's all the narratives. But honestly, Neal, my remote gets worn out because when they're stopping the action or games, and I'm flipping over to basketball because basketball has been for
getting
the most
sexy
part,
now too,
as exciting too. And I cheat a little bit because we have a group thread, and when the basketball stuff goes off, you guys always hammer back so I can flip back and forth and still to whatever else. So I just think, and then you mentioned baseball too, because the flow, and you mentioned this yesterday, the pace of the game, right? The fact that the pace of the game has sped up by like half an hour, then when you know you're flicking in, you're not like waiting for a commercial. Like the worst thing is when you change and it's like the commercial's happening, you can get the flow. So I think that sports on TV is in a great spot. For me, I lean NHL playoffs, obviously being compromised, but I'm enjoying the NBA playoffs too. I mean, like that to me, Denver is must-see TV, like Golden State used to be, right? Because I think that's the one and that we're rooting for as a dark horse for. Like, this is their time to get over the hump. This is their. It's the Joker's time to be Dirk Nowitzki in Dallas, right, and win his championship.
And look, you guys know my affinity for Jokic. Here's the difference. And when we asked this time, Philip C says NBA is a shadow of what it was, and I disagree with that, man. Like, I'll give you this: the first round of the NBA playoffs, to whereas the inverse of that is the first round. The NHL playoffs are the most electric in the first round.
Also, this year's first round of the NBA playoffs is really good. Like, you had a couple upsets. You had a 1 seed lose. You had multiple teams up. Like, this has been the probably the best first round of the NBA playoffs.
The most wild first round of NBA playoffs.
In a long time.
But now for the NBA, now is the time where it gets sexy.
Yeah,
right?
You
where
get fucking high level basketball.
Well, you got that. You got Jokic. You got Jokic against Durant and the Suns, and
Bron,
Chris Paul's hurt again.
Yeah.
You know, Golden State and the Lakers. Sam Flannel is beside himself, and I know your answer, Sam Flannel. You're NBA playoffs all the way, right?
I'm NBA playoffs all the way, and it's no disrespect to the NHL playoffs, which have been phenomenal. But when you look at the NBA playoffs, I think the thing that is very, very compelling about this is how much legacies are on the line. I mean, you talk about Nikola Jokic. I don't think there's anything that he can do to hurt his legacy because he's had such a phenomenal playoff run. But if Nikola Jokic gets a Finals MVP this year, we're going to start having some questions that I think might be uncomfortable to some. He is most certainly a top 20 all-time player at that point. And then you might be approaching guys like Giannis and Dirk Nowitzki and Kevin Garnett in terms of the all-time rankings. And you and Neal, you and I were talking before the show. Then you can start saying, of the past 3 or 4 years, the best player in the NBA as a whole has been Nikola Jokic. I mean, same can go for Joel Embiid. If he gets a Finals MVP, that would do wonders for his legacy. If Kevin Durant gets one outside of Steph Curry's shadow, that would be amazing. What if LeBron gets 5? That would be another notch in his potential GOAT case. And even Anthony Davis, what if he plays an integral role in the Lakers winning a championship and maybe gets a Finals MVP? Then I think all the Data Davis stuff has to stop. There's just so much that is on the line with so many players, and it's just, this is legacy defining.
And I'm getting a lot of this in the WoodwardSports.com chat thread. And Jake Wagner, I'll give you the disclosure. You're a valued member of the Big D Energy and Woodward Sports community. You are. Which is the disclaimer to let you know that I'm going to disagree with your take. Just out in the front. He says, I used to not care much about basketball until the playoffs hit. During the Steph versus LeBron game, I fell out of even watching the playoffs. NHL is much more entertaining to me. And Jake, no one cares about Devils Hurricanes. Nobody. Spenmo. Nobody does.
I watched that game.
Nobody does.
It was a good game. They put up 5 goals in the second period.
If you could only pick one, which one were you watch? You watching that, or are you going to watch Nuggets?
Philly, Boston.
Suns?
Yeah, Nuggets, Suns. Yeah, but
you know it.
I like the Canes, man.
No one cares about Hurricanes Devils. They don't.
It's true. NHL playoffs is everything I love about hockey. You like turn to the next level. The physicality, the speed, the elite goaltending. It's just, but I'm with Flannel. Like the storylines of the NBA this year, even not only the legacy-defining moments for players, but like the matchups team-wise. Like, you got Philly, Boston, 2 teams that hate each other, 2 teams that always go at it in the playoffs. You got Jimmy Butler trying to get back there, get back to the finals, will himself. Basically
by himself
to get there again. You got Bron versus Curry. You got Jokic versus the Phoenix. Like it's the storylines are there in these series I. So it's exciting. It's exciting.
D-Mac, here's one for you. And I've never asked you this before. We might have talked about this back when we worked at ESPN Radio before. but I don't remember your response. Brandon Katz says, the NHL does not market its player at all, but the NBA does. And that's been a long time the point of people that were
hockey guys are just chill,
negative, about the NHL and stuff like that. I feel like they're doing more than they used to in the past.
As it gets younger, and as these younger stars and the McDavids, and now you got the Bedards, and you got the Hughes brothers, and you got, all these younger guys. I think that they have to try to do it. But what's the old adage with hockey? Oh, I don't know what they look like off the ice because without a helmet on. Basketball absolutely promotes the individual. Hockey's more of the team and stuff like that and the excitement. But no, you can't recognize guys. You put up a lineup of different hockey players, especially you mentioned teams that are in the Final 8. I could put up the Jersey roster and the Carolina roster, and you wouldn't know who it was.
Outside of Jack Hughes, for me, and again, just pulling this off memory, Sebastian Aho obviously is very good. But there isn't much past that for me.
Well, that's it, right? Like the big stars, and you look, it has to be, and you talk about it. So how do we know that what Brandon Katz said was true? Because what do we say? That the most talented guy in the NHL is head and shoulders from first to second place, bigger gap than any other sport, and yet you barely know Connor McDavid unless you're in the hockey circle.
Mm-hmm. And that's wild to me because, again, you guys know my take on it. Backing up what D-Mac just said, the difference between Connor McDavid and the second best player in the NHL is larger than the gap between the best player.
Probably, McKinnon, Matthews? Who are you putting it to? Flavor of the month?
Yeah. Right now, I guess people will probably lean towards Matthews because McKinnon got hurt last year and stuff like that.
McCarr.
It's interchangeable. But the point of the statement remains. Like, the difference between Connor McDavid and number 2, whoever your number 2 is vastly greater than the difference between the number 1 and number 2 in any other sport. Maybe with the exception of Shohei Ohtani, but because Ohtani plays on the West Coast and he's not an American, he'll never get that kind of run. He just won't. Like when he does his interviews, they do it through an interpreter and stuff like that, and that's just the way that most Americans have migrated. That is, like, he never, like, dude, think about it. He's a dominant hitter and a dominant pitcher. So, and I'm warming up to that too. That I would, D-Mac, I'm getting close to amending that to say the gap between Shohei Ohtani and the second best player.
No, that would be the other one.
Is far greater
close.
than.
And you could argue too, is Connor McDavid and the second best player is Leon Draisaitl on his team, and there's still that gap. So Ohtani, yes, he's putting himself in that stratosphere. If you're saying Mike Trout is the second best player,
right, and yeah, I mean that's it. Brandon said McDavid is better than McKinnon and Matthews, but not by a huge margin. I would disagree with that.
Yeah, I definitely disagree with that.
Yeah, Brandon, watch the game and lock in on him. Watch how and D-Mac, mark me on this, the Minister of Accountability. Tell me if I'm wrong. When he steps on the ice, the feel of the game changes, even through the television.
Absolutely.
And I'll ask you this, as somebody who played the game. Your
it's like turning the notch up on the intensity
on the pressure
and the
cooker.
And then when he picks the puck up, he's even faster. I mean, like you watched tonight, he'll be motivated after that performance the other night. So
as a player, when someone like Connor McDavid steps on the ice, your antenna goes up.
Oh, absolutely. It was like Joe Sakic chasing him around. At least with Forsberg, he'd come into contact, so he liked to muck it up. So you knew, but Sakic, you're just chasing him around, trying not to let him get off that release.
And you had your McDavid on Forsberg most of the time, and Sergei.
Yeah. Yep.
People still sleep on how good of a defensive player he was. They do. I know they don't.
He won the Selke.
I know he won the Selke and everything, but people do not understand still to this day.
How about that, right? Drapes, Stevie, Sergei, Pavel, all Selke winners.
Mm-hmm.
That's the defensive championships.
With Nick Lidstrom.
Oh, yeah. With King Norris.
Yeah.
God damn, you guys were good.
It's such a good fight. It's so
You'll never see a hockey team like that again.
Not a chance.
You will never see that again.
They call it the Hall of Fame team. It's fucking reason for it.
I love the best quote, Wayne Gretzky, when they asked him, they said, "Hey, Wayne, what was it like to play on the greatest team in hockey history?" He said, "I don't know. I didn't play on the 02 Red Wings."
Yeah.
That's small flex from the great one.
That's true. That
I'll take
team is
it.
crazy. You'll never see any team like that in any sport, except for maybe baseball.
I got a question about that when we come back. Let me tell you about Cintron. Okay. Why wait? That is right. You have the opportunity to try the Cintron Red Wing 6-pack sampler box. Be $15 to your door with free shipping. You can do that. Go to drinkcintron.com/Woodward. If you're one of the 4 people out there who have not tried Cintron as of yet, because, they serve it at Little Caesars Arena. D-Mac's always smashing one at Little Caesars Arena. They serve it at Keyworth Stadium, Detroit City FC. D-Mac's always smashing one at Keyworth Stadium when he's out there watching Detroit City FC as well. Go to drinkcintron.com/Woodward. $15, free shipping. Cranberry, classic, sugar-free. You get to try them all and really lock in on which Cintron is your favorite. drinkcintron.com/Woodward. It's Cintron, Darren McCarty.
Drink it. Love it. With Cintron.
The sports marketing agency would not be who we are without great community partners like Higuera Health and Carol Zaniga.
It's an awesome opportunity to partner with your organization. Higuera Health is a comprehensive behavioral health organization. We serve children through older adults with mental health, substance use, and developmental disabilities across Western Wayne counties, and really excited to now be in downriver communities as well. Give us a call at 734-458-4601.
Can't get enough Woodward Sports content? Head over to woodwardsports.com right now for up-to-date sports articles and great entertainment news. We have the best writers, bloggers, and coverage all at your fingertips. Head to woodwardsports.com right now to experience all Woodward Sports has to offer.
Coming down the stretch here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal, Ruhl, Darren McCarty, Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter. Make sure you subscribe to the Big D Energy podcast, iTunes, Spotify, Spreaker, wherever you get those podcasts. Lock in to that. I had a question for D-Mac, and I do this sometimes, and I'm guilty of it. I raise my hand, and I'm guilty of it. A lot of times we call it, sports talk for 2 or sports talk for 1. D-Mac, does how good that team, in retrospect, does it diminish Sergei Fedorov's view nationally?
Does it diminish?
Understand that I'm a simp. I fully admit that. And he's probably my favorite player in any sport all time.
I think that the people that remember that were there remember the
Not with you guys. I'm talking about
the fan base.
Yeah, the hockey community.
But out of sight, out of mind. So if you didn't grow up watching it and you don't go back watching old videos or stuff like that to really appreciate it, but people that were there and experienced, Sergei Fedorov from 89 to, or 90 to, to his career with Washington, with Anaheim and stuff like that. I have more appreciation as time goes on of how great guys that I played with or how talented it was. Now, Sergei Fedorov, he'd be dominant in this. He could play in any era. That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
The talent, the skating, stuff like that. But I think that you got to remember, this is a guy that played defense too. Like just such an all-around player. This guy just decided, we'll throw him back in defense. In the playoffs, whatever. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Yeah, he was one of the greatest. Is an absolute talent.
And check Forsberg the whole series.
Well, right, exactly. And not just that. Look at all the other series that were played.
Well, it's wild to me.
No, it's a good one.
It is. It's wild to me. The away fans. For me, number 1, Osgood, 2, Fedorov, 3, Yzerman. And again, fully admit I'm a simp. Maybe my favorite player in all sports of all times, and had the coolest Nike commercials too. Jack Harrington says Neal is going to be locked in to the Oilers game tonight. It is time for the children now that it's rough. It's time for the children to rise up. I hate the way they got to run with the devil all the time, man. But they do. That's just the way they operate. It's a dangerous game, though, D-Mac. When you look for that next gear and you reach down and it's not there, and you got to have it tonight or you're cooked.
Well, I mean, it's just that they just got to be task at hand, and you'll know early on, first 5 minutes, but also, you know, you're playing at home. You know, they bounce back after getting blown out. They answer the bell real well, so they're making it harder on themselves, but we were a team that made it harder on ourselves too, and the lessons that you learn. So they just got to be disciplined. You know, like Vander Kane can't be taking stupid penalties and throwing it off, cross-checking penalties. And, you know, Vegas did a better job of staying out of the box because Edmonton's power play is lethal. It's unbelievable. So it makes the series is still up for grabs. I think the big focus is 7 o'clock puck drop. Florida comes out and pushes their will on Toronto. I think it's over.
Oh, come on. Give this to me. You know what, though?
And you want it now, too.
Yeah, but D-Mac, here's the race I run with that right now with tonight. Because I will be locked into Panthers-Toronto. And that's personal for me because I love it when Toronto loses. But there is a part of me, D-Mac, that wants it to happen in Toronto. But at the same time, right, like I just want them out. I don't want to be worrying about, oh, here comes Toronto. Will this be the greatest comeback ever?
Right, don't give them the heat. And then you have to come back from a 3-0 deficit. Yeah. You got to hear that. And it's
and they got 2 of the last 3 at home. You know what I'm saying? But there is a part of me, though, that wants it to happen in Toronto.
No, really?
Yes. Because, and I'll take pictures of the crowd shots,
I just know that being in the situation that Florida's in is that you have to step on the throat so hard. You'll be smart, you know, hopefully you can get Toronto on discipline and you know, remind them hopefully, like, because you're a professional athlete, so you go into it and it's all about winning the game and stuff like that. But if you can get them thinking that it's a lot easier to reach for the golf club than it is for the hockey stick, then that's incentive.
Yeah.
We'll see what they're made of, because this, you know, backs against the wall, no bigger moment. I mean, nope. Cap obvious, but
Captain Obvious. Where do you rank out on that one, Spemo? Would you rather Toronto lose at home, or do you want them just bounce tonight so you don't have to mess with
I
it?
just want them bounce tonight, so they're just gone.
I want the heartbreak, though. I want the crowd shots.
Oh, there'll be.
But you're willing to take that chance?
Yes.
You'll get the crowd shots with the outdoor.
You know that
right?
crowd's going to be a lot thinner down there. It's not going to be. They're not going to be stacked in the streets.
Be. I think that they're going to be. You would expect it to be thinner, like they know the writing's on the wall, but they're not that self-aware, Neal. Toronto fans.
We've learned that, haven't we?
Mm-hmm.
We have learned that. Real quick, I did want to touch on this. The Lions this year still with 26-ish million in cap space. They do have to finish signing rookies, though.
Yes,
they do have to do that.
My brother's the only one that's signed so far.
Okay.
What's his name?
Is there somebody out there that
I don't know his name
piques your fancy, or is it something that you want to keep that? I mean, you see the rumblings of some of the veteran guys. I know Ndamukong Suh was in the news. You know, obviously he's a mercenary, so he's going to go somewhere. But what do you think with that, Neal? Is there somebody that you're spying on? Is there a position you're spying on, or is it something that you want to keep that there as sort of reinforcements or backup if anything goes down during the offseason?
I want to wait for June 1. I want to see who falls through the cracks. Not Keenan Allen per se, but the Keenan Allen type veteran.
Yeah.
You know, who's tipped upside down on his contract, that's in a situation that doesn't fit, where it doesn't make sense. You know, just off the top of my head, I don't know names without looking at the spreadsheet, but like someone on Tampa or the Rams, you know, that's kind of landlocked in there, that doesn't really fit, and it doesn't make sense for him to keep them, that's going to get jettisoned when the league new year, you know, technically starts or whatever. I'm just
distressed assets out there. They're distressed
Damn
assets.
you, D-Mac. You jumped the gun on me there. Yeah, a distressed asset.
I'm just making sure that that's the terminology.
Yeah, that is a
I
terminology.
get excited when I learn new words and what they mean.
Yeah, that is the terminology.
So we're keeping the money for the distressed assets.
Absolutely. So we can swoop in and buy low.
We're going to pterodactyl it. Swoop in. Scoop it up.
Speaking of rookie contracts, the first-round pick to sign their deal, Jalen Carter.
Yeah, makes sense.
It's not nothing, right?
I mean, yeah, it is.
No, it's not. It's not nothing.
It is.
What's the holdup with everybody else?
I don't know. He's just doing it so something else doesn't come out.
He wants to play football.
He's doing it before something else comes out, and they pull the.
Okay.
Or as Chuck Brewer said, he had no leverage, but it was pretty much.
Well, nobody has any leverage.
It's cycled in, isn't it?
Yeah, Chuck Brewer said he had no leverage. Nobody has leverage. They're all slotted.
Yeah. So the fact that the other he had time to get to.
He wanted to get signed and get to work. I was told he's a malcontent and a danger. So hey, all we have to go on right now, right?
Danger zone.
All we have to go on.
A malcontent and a danger.
He signed his contract. Like if you're in the market for lunch or dinner tonight.
There's only one thing you
only one thing you can do.
One thing you can do. It's obviously Cousins Maine Lobster, because Cousins Maine Lobster brings the best of the Maine coast to Detroit. Try their variety of sweet, succulent Maine lobster menu items at their 2 food trucks rolling around the city. You can find their events scheduled on cousinsmainelobster.com. and through their mobile app, where you can easily order ahead and earn rewards. You can even scan that QR code right there and figure out where they are rolling around the city. So make sure you check out Cousins Maine Lobster.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
Final segment of the show, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Ruhl, Darren McCarty, Sam Flannel, Spencer Rockstar here with you. All right, woodwardsports.com chat thread. All right, Brandon Katz, I'll bite. Neal has nothing to say about Joel Embiid dropping 34 points in a critical win in Game 5 in Boston. Embiid was by far the MVP this year. Denver has a much better roster than Philly. Do they, Brandon? Because all the other games that Philadelphia won, who's the dude that went and won them for them? Sam Flannel, mark me on this.
James Harden.
Yeah, and that's
1-4. Yes.
Yeah.
Joel Embiid didn't even play in Game 1. That's factual.
That is true. And yeah, if you're into it, yeah, he had 33 points. Only took him 23 field goal attempts to get there on 10 of 23 shooting.
Yikes.
Tell me more, Brandon.
It's not good.
Tell me more. And then in the meantime, and he tells me too about how Denver has a far better roster than Philly. Are there any league MVPs floating around on Denver other than Jokic, a back-to-back one? Are there?
I mean, to be fair, James Harden isn't what he was, but yeah, to answer your question, no, there are not.
In those 2 wins, what was he?
He was as good as he's ever been.
Huh. That's weird.
As good as I once was.
That's really weird.
As good once.
So, and I'm just, just taking a look at it. Just taking a look at it and seeing, and Tyrese Maxey with 30 points.
Tyrese Maxey's good, man.
Yep.
The one that got away from the Pistons.
Yeah. Well,
6 of 12 from 3. Yeah.
One
okay,
of the
Brandon.
ones that got away from the Pistons.
So, yeah, tell me more about that much better roster. In the meantime, on Denver, look, man, I know you guys love him, but he goes 3 for 14 a lot.
I couldn't believe they won that game. That was Game 1,
Not anymore.
Right?
Yeah.
That was Game 1 when he went, 3 of 14 or something like that?
Yep, Jamal Murray. So he had a couple 3 for 14s in him.
Yeah.
So, if you're into inefficient scoring and all that stuff.
And would a much better roster let Jokic go for 53 and lose.
Thank you. That was my
Bless you.
that was my service
Bless you.
ace.
Yeah.
You're blessed.
Whoa.
Put a 50
Allergic to that
burger on the board and you
conversation
lose.
right there.
Yeah.
That was wow.
Yeah, and Jokic last night, by the way, another triple-double, just business as usual for Nikola Jokic. So, if you want to feed that narrative, go ahead. And, Jokic, 12 of 20 from the floor. Usual stuff. 13 boards, 12 assists. Couple blocks. Guy's the best player in the NBA. They gave Jeff Kent one of Barry Bonds' MVPs once, too. That's the Steve Nash.
Steve Nash, one of Shaq's MVPs.
Took one of Shaq's MVPs. Yeah. Austin Matthews got one of Connor McDavid's MVPs last year, as you were talking about in the chat thread. So there is that out there as well. So that's about it. Anybody got anything else? D-Mac, what you got, Paul? Your golf course.
Yeah, but can I just say that yesterday marked a milestone?
It did.
Like almost 3 years that been around Easy, which is, if anybody knows, Woodward Heavyweights.
5
Spencer,
to 7.
Easy, 5 to 7 here. Finally in agreement. We finally come to agree on something. And if people didn't catch this yesterday, Young Easy came out and said that, and I'm going to speak paraphrasing Spenny, but he said that if he took a young lady to a Lions football game and on third down she was not out of her seat cheering a defense and against and rolling it up to get the noise going, she's out. O-U-T out. I can 100% agree with that. So ladies, please, and gentlemen, if a lady takes you to the game, you better be showing, that Honolulu blue and silver, faithful, getting loud on third down, because that's what it's all about at Ford Field.
Facts.
So Easy, I agree with you, bud.
There it is. This is a big moment.
That's a good
for
moment.
Easy and his development and growth as a person.
Progress.
Finally came out with a good take.
It's about
time.
Slowly and
Just want
surely.
to pinch his cheeks. Just good boy, Easy. Good boy. We love you. Now we love you. 5 to 7. Woodward Heavyweights tap in. I think we've done all the damage that we can do here today. So appreciate all of you in the WoodwardSports.com chat thread. For D-Mac, Sam Flannel, Spencer Rexter, my name is Neal Ruhl. Thanks for watching Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Well, see you later.